Look at us, man. Like Superman.
That weight is more than what Flavio Boccanini weighs, our other guest professional on the show, and Kevin's doing it for repetitions. Good job, Kevin.
Yeah. Every drop, every ounce, every piece of energy within me.
The experience of being much stronger than everybody else, I think that's an unbelievable experience. You feel richer. You feel that sooner or later that you can do anything.
All right, guys, it's Sunday, July 27th. This is the tail end of our weekend warrior workout. We're going to hit some back. We're going to hit some hamstrings. We're going to hit some traps. We're taking your calls, 313-591-0290. But I think I should start off by saying I am sore. I did not sleep well last night at all. I actually slept maybe 3 hours, if I'm lucky, 4 hours. And it was brutal. I think I fell victim to the classic, you kind of overtrained yourself in a way. So what ends up doing is raises your core body temperature towards the evening. You end up increasing your cortisol. And those things mess up your circadian rhythm and makes it so it's harder for you to sleep. So very common if you're working out. You will probably not get the best sleep if you overtrain or if you kind of like overdo it in a way. And like I've talked about before, I've talked about how, you need to be able to stick to your program, adherence to your program. And the problem with that is and this happens all the time, and I'm guilty of it as well. You get overzealous, you get to the point where you are doing too much too soon, and you overtrain, and there's too much cortisol pumping through your veins, and now it's hard to sleep. Now you're not sleeping. Now next day comes along, you don't feel very much like working out. But here we are, at the end of the day. We cannot make excuses because we are on the road to Yokedom. That's where we're going. Road to Yokedom. I didn't weigh myself today. I'm gonna give you an update on I was 224 today, actually. I did weigh myself, now that I think of it. I weighed 224, so I was around 230, like a couple weeks back when I first started working out. I think, I started to lose weight quickly, and now, I mean, you want to lose weight at the right pace. You don't want to lose too much weight too soon. So you want like a pound a week, let's say, but you want to make it so that it's not like a yo-yo. You want it to be consistent over time, so you continue to be able to, work out effectively and get good workouts. So, what we're going to do, like I said, is we're going to do some back. We're going to hit some topics as well. My wife's been into the Brian Koberger case. She's been sharing all her insights with me. I know a lot about it in a way because I hear her talking about it so much. And what struck me is during the sentencing, the mother of Xana Coronado actually gave glory to Jesus Christ, and she actually, I believe she forgave him. I'm going to go to the tape. We're going to watch the tape and see exactly what her words were. But she gave credit to her daughter for bringing her to Christ. I believe she did have a drug problem at various points in her life. And so that's a testimony right there. The fact that she's giving forgiveness to this heinous murderer, Brian Koberger. What other religion would inspire you to do that? Think about that. What have you ever, I mean, not to say it doesn't happen, but I just don't hear about it very much if it does. I think Christianity is definitely unique in that despite horrendous things happening, like in this case of this mother, the murder of her daughter, she was able to give forgiveness to the killer, Brian Koberg, and it's like floored me. And then I said, "Wow, and even that kind of represents and gives glory to Jesus." So it's kind of interesting. So we'll listen to that tape. Uh, we're gonna hit the first exercise is gonna be over here. I'm gonna bring the camera over in a second. It's gonna be a T-bar row. I don't have a T-bar machine, so my little home gym here. But what I do have is I have this device which allows me to kind of make almost like a makeshift T-bar. So I can do like a T-bar row. I've got 90 pounds on here plus the 45 pounds of the bar, and that's 135. So we're going to be doing 135. And like I said before many times, you don't need to do a lot of weight. You can just basically do, get a pump and bring blood into that muscle. You know what I mean? I almost forgot though. Before we get started, I do want to talk about the free testimony book. It's called Jesus Lifts. It's available on my website, fezgarcia.com. All you need to do is go to fezgarcia.com/free-book, and you'll be able to download it right to your iPhone. Download it right to your iPad. It's absolutely free. And the reason for that is because I don't want anybody out there saying, "Hey, he's trying to profit off of the gospel," or "Hey, he's one of those fake Christians like Benny Hinn or something who's trying to make money off of Jesus." And that's definitely not what I'm trying to do. This, if you notice, is volume one. Volume one. There are going to be multiple volumes coming in the future. There's going to be hopefully at least 7 volumes, is what I'm imagining. So I am looking for people to help edit these. I have over 200 testimonies of Jesus Christ. I've interviewed these people myself years back. Now, what I'm doing is I'm compiling these testimonies. I'm kind of picking and choosing some of the best ones, some of the interesting ones, but there's so many that are so good. It's hard to do that. But I am, taking the transcripts because I use kind of AI to make it a transcript, but then you need a human to actually look at the words and make sure they make sense and they line up with the original audio. So it takes some time, and it's not free. I should be paying these people, but I just don't have the money to do it because, like I said, I'm not making money off of this. But these people are kind enough. Many of them some of them were from my church. They're good enough to volunteer their time for free, and it's just to help edit these. So I encourage you and I urge you to check those out. They're life-changing stories of how people came into contact with Jesus Christ, and they're really powerful. The sponsor of today's show is the Perry bottle. The Perry bottle is a wondrous device. This is a device that you use in the bathroom after you go number 2. You squirt this up your bum, and you clean yourself out without having to use so much toilet paper. This is a wonderful device. It's a bidet in a bottle, and I really encourage you to check it out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to post the link in the description to where you can get this on Amazon. It's very cheap. It's like throwaway money to get this thing, but I'm telling you, it is well worth it. It will revolutionize the way you use the bathroom. I know that sounds funny and crazy and silly, but it really is a ingenious design. It's very versatile. It takes hard knocks. It keeps on ticking. It's a good little device. It's called the Perry bottle, Peri. You should check it out. And I'll post the link in the description for that. So let's get to our first exercise, shall we? I'm going to play I got some new tracks today, a couple new tracks, not all the new tracks. This is Jim Yosef. The title of this song is Link. Of course, it's a no copyright sound, like no copyright sounds, but this, not all their tracks are great, but this one actually happens to be pretty good. I like it. So let's do it. All right. I'm going slow because I'm trying to reduce the cortisol. I have so much cortisol in my body, I can tell, because I even smell different. You know, like get that stress sweat. That means that you're a little overtrained. That's how I feel right now. Because again, what is this, the third week? This is my third week of working out, and I'm only working on the weekends. So, you know, it takes some time to get back in the swing of things. So it's kind of what this is, you know. I wanted to talk a little bit about this though. You see these? These are great. These are lifting grips. Secure your grip, lifting grips, grip power pads. These are great because sometimes the lagging thing that helps prevent you from lifting more is your wrist strength, your forearm strength. So these can make up for that, help you get an extra couple reps, help you get more burns and stuff, more back activation. You know what I mean? Oh, man. They say you should start with the hardest exercise. This is me starting my hardest exercise right now. Just so you know, I am taking calls, though. I want to chat with you guys, see what you're doing in your routines. Are you trying to get in shape? Any thoughts that you have? The number to call is 313-591-0290. Try to call after I'm done with the set. I'm not going to interrupt my set to answer a call, but turn in between, that would be a good time if you wanted to call in. Just saying, just for your information. I'm going to catch my breath. Now, rest time is important. Unless you're just strictly trying to do it for conditioning and for your cardio strength, there's no need to jump straight into another set too quickly, especially me right now, because I might feel tired and I didn't sleep. Slept like 3 hours. But that's okay. We're just going to slow it down. We're just going to take it easy. And we're just going to try to get the mind in a Zen-like state where you're calm, you're relaxed, you're at peace with the world. And kind of the opposite of, I remember I went to this one powerlifter's gym. This guy made records, state records for powerlifting, and I interviewed him. At the time, I was doing freelance journalism stuff. And this guy, he would psych himself up to do a lift by hitting himself in the head with a metal folding chair. He would literally take a metal folding chair like this and go, bah, 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 and smack his head with a metal folding chair. Why, you ask? Your guess is as good as mine, but supposedly he was able to lift more weight doing that. He was able to lift better doing it that way, which is the opposite of what I'm preaching here. I'm preaching calm. You don't want your central nervous system, your adrenal glands to kick in like that, because with that metal folding chair hitting you in the head, that'll kickstart your adrenal glands. And then you're basically not even using 100% muscle activation. You're using part adrenal glands, part muscle. You don't want to do that. And of course, the reason I'm going slow, and I feel like I'm beating a dead horse, but I have to repeat it, is you have to slow it down in order to focus on the muscle rather than bouncing up and down on your joints and ligaments. Because when you do it that way, you're also getting assistance from your joints and ligaments. And I disagree with doing that. And I think it doesn't put focus on the muscle as much. Let's do another set. This one is going to be Disfigure. The title of the track is called Blank. So let's hit it. We're gonna hit this. We're gonna hit it. I'm gonna lower this weight. I can't. I'm not getting enough reps for my liking. I'm trying to get 12 to 15, so I get a nice pump in that muscle. So we're gonna do another one. We're gonna take a break though. Take some topics. We'll do a topic because I'm tired. 3 hours of sleep. Doing the best I can though, guys. Okay. All right. Let's do a topic. Why not? Okay. So, speaking of what the heck? Oh, here we go. Speaking of Brian Koberger, and I mentioned he admitted to killing those sorority girls in Idaho, and he's going to be going to jail for a very long time, for life, I believe. Although, let's see what happens in jail because someone might. I don't know. You do stuff like that in jail, there's no guarantee. Some inmate might try to kill you or something. But this kid, let me get the picture of him up for you so you can see it. If you've never heard anything about this trial, there's a lot to it. There's been CBS documentaries about this trial. A lot of there he is right there in the green jumpsuit. I mean the orange jumpsuit. So what I wanted to show you, this is a long proceeding. This is the sentencing of Brian Koberger. This thing that stuck out to me is that he is just sitting there emotionless, and he's got all the family members coming up to him and saying, "Go to hell," and this and that. Like this guy, I'm going to play a clip from him. His saying, his stepfather to Xana Coronado, he basically says, "I want to take you out in the woods and stuff like that." But then I want you to stick around and hear what Xana's mother says, because she says something very powerful, very impactful, that I believe is something that can only be said through the power of the Holy Spirit after this kid kills your daughter. So let's listen.
Man, I don't know what my limits are here, but I'm really struggling, dude. I am struggling. So I want to just be out in the woods with you just so I can teach you about loss and pain. I love God. I wouldn't take your life. That's up to him. But I guarantee you, you are weak. God, I would just give a moment, man, 5 minutes out in the woods. Oh, man. You're going to go to hell. I know people believe in other stuff. You're evil. There's no place for you in heaven. You took our children. You are going to suffer, man. I'm shaking because I want to reach out to you, but I hope you feel my energy, okay? Go to hell.
So take that. I want you to compare that to, that's a very human reaction. I'm not judging his reaction whatsoever. It's just a very human. I would probably say the same thing out of pure anger for someone who killed my daughter. God forbid. My daughter right now is 4 months, but God forbid something like that happen. But I want you to think about that statement that he just made and what I'm about to play for you, which is the statement of Xana's mother, Xana Coronado's mother. And I want you to listen to the way she brings it. So this guy says, "Go to hell." And I listen to what she says.
Next is Kara Northington, Xana's mother.
She looks like a lot like her daughter.
I'm
Her
Kara
daughter looks like her.
Northington. I am Xana Kernodle's mother. This letter is to you, really. But it's for my daughter, who was murdered by you. Today I stand before you, the man who is responsible for murdering my beautiful daughter, Xana Kernodle. My daughter was beautiful both inside and out. She possessed love for those around her and had a light so bright it will live on forever in our hearts. She brought joy and laughter to her friends, her family, and anyone in her presence. Our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, now has her in his loving arms in heaven, where she can never be harmed ever again for eternity. Because of her, I came to know my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Because of her, many will come to Christ.
So I love that. In the midst of the grief that she's feeling, this sadness, like I can't think of anything more horrible happening than the death of your child that you loved into for so long and was such a blessing from God, and someone like this comes along, takes the life away, and it's so sad. Notice though, she mentions Jesus Christ and how she's in the arms, her daughter's in the arms of Jesus Christ. Very powerful. You know, I believe that absolutely. Um, and then she says her daughter, helped to lead her towards Jesus Christ. From what I understand, she had some type of drug addiction problems in her life, and Jesus was able to get her out of it. Really quick, guys, there's a testimony in my free book, Jesus Lifts, that talks about drug addiction. This is the first testimony. It's the pastor for disaster. He's so good. You gotta read his testimony, but it's the same about similar topic. It's about addiction.
It is Christ who lives in me that has given me the strength to forgive you. It was of no power of my own. In return, the Lord has filled me with joy, hope, and peace that surpasses all understanding. Jesus has allowed me to forgive you for murdering my daughter without you even being sorry or asking for this. This is only possible because he who lives in me is greater than any evil in this world.
That's it right there. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that amazing? Imagine someone kills your child, and what do? You extend the olive branch of forgiveness to that killer and say, it's not me who's doing this, but it's the Holy Spirit that's living inside me that's giving me the strength to forgive you. That is amazing. I want everybody to pay close attention to what she's saying here, because in my opinion, my humble opinion, it's giving direct glory to God, to Jesus, what he can do for the average person, because we're all human. We have this human nature, this sin nature inside of us, that all we want to do is just bad things, basically. Like we want to follow our flesh and stuff like that. That's why, in my opinion, the spirit and the flesh, your spirit has to be strong, and then your flesh also can be strong. It's your flesh is strong and your spirit's not strong, then you could lead into so many problems. So what I wanted to ask you guys, and call in if you have any thoughts on this, but what I wanted to ask you is, what do you think? And this is a long, by the way, you can watch this. I'm not going to play any more of this. This is a very long video, but my question is, What would cause this young man to commit this heinous murder? The murder of multiple victims here. Zan is just one of them. It was also Maddie. It was also her best friend. Her name is escaping me right now. So at least 3. I believe there's 4 victims. But my point is, like I said, I'm not an expert on this case. I'm just what I focused in on this one thing that she said. But I believe there's 4 victims. But the point is, he killed multiple innocent victims. What would cause this guy to do something like that? You know, I do happen to know certain things. I know that he was a vegan. Is it veganism that causes someone to do this? I don't know. I don't think it's veganism that would cause someone to do this. I know that he used to barely sleep at night. I know that's not it because I used to not barely sleep at night until I got my CPAP machine and because I had sleep apnea. So I don't think that's the reason because I'm not out killing people and he is. I always want to look into, well, what's his religion? I don't even think that's a foolproof because I believe that there are cases where some cult like Christian are involved in one of these cults does weird things like that, but it's not common. I will say that it's not common, but I imagine that there are exceptions in cases where it does happen. But for the vast majority, I don't think Christians would do something like this. But I know he had a form of autism called Asperger's. Is it Asperger's that would cause someone to do this? Again, I don't think so because there's a lot of people who have Asperger's. They're not out there killing people. My theory, and you could agree or disagree, but my theory as to why this young man killed these 4 victims like that is because he was a heroin addict. And when you do hard drugs like heroin, you're allowing a spiritual forces and to gain access to your spirit and to your body. People say the guy looks possessed, like look at his eyes. He's demonically possessed. I don't doubt that. There is something out there that causes people to do pure evil acts like this. And it's like Invasion of the Body Snatchers. So what do I think? I think that this kid, Brian Kohlberger, killed these girls not because of these things, not because he was rejected by a lot of women. Although some people will also say that. I don't think it was because he was rejected a lot. Apparently, he had opportunities to be with girls. I mean, this one girl, this Asian girl, was interested in him. I think some other girl gave her number to him, so he must have. But the point is, I believe that when people do certain things, it allows spiritual forces into your life. And if you have no covering, like you don't have the blood of Jesus on you and stuff like that, you are susceptible to a lot of stuff. And as heroin addict, and he was addicted to heroin, that is demonic. That's dark stuff. So it's a very hard drug. I've never done it. I had friends in my frat who did cocaine, and that's also a hard drug. And that also, I believe, lets spiritual stuff into your life you don't want. But that's my theory, guys. I think the heroin allowed him to get basically possessed, and he got darker and darker. He used to take jogs in the middle of the night in the mountains and the hills and stuff in the woods. He used to hang out in like all hours of the night. Like I said, I guess he didn't sleep. But maybe he didn't sleep because he was so oppressed that he couldn't sleep because like it was just, I don't know, he couldn't sleep because of it. So call on the show 313-591-0299. What do you think? What do you think was the cause of this kid going out there killing 4 innocent girls, college girls, sorority girls, just like that, with no remorse? no like inkling of emotion, just cold-blooded. Um, that's my theory. What's your theory? Okay, let's hit another set. We're gonna do another set here of this. Now that we had a nice little break here, nice little rest. Simply Deep says, "Sup, Yoke Fez? What's up, Simply Deep? How you doing?" We're gonna do another set of this makeshift T-bar row here. Like I said, I barely slept. I'm I'm dragging myself through this workout. But let's see how it goes. Let's play Edward Maya some chill music. Oh, really? Oh, no. Here, show everybody.
Man, I feel so tough.
Here, go here. My wife wants to say hi. Here, speaking to the mic.
Hello. Look,
Our baby just had a blowout. Check that out. The poop went right through.
I have to wash the thing.
Okay.
Oh, well. Well, that was short-lived. I was going to say, but then I realized that she's not afraid of me with the mask. But
That's good.
finally exploded.
Let's hit it again. So here. Okay, we're gonna do another topic because, like I said, I'm dragging myself through this workout. I'm tired. I think we're done with the T-bar row. Okay, let's hit another topic unrelated to the first one. You know, we talked a little bit about veganism. I've never been a vegan. I have nothing against vegans. But there's this guy you may have heard of. His name is Brian Johnson. He is on YouTube. He's been studying how to live longer, and he talks about his diet's crazy. He's a complete vegan. His breakfast is like a bunch of broccoli and cauliflower and chia seeds, and like he goes all out because he believes that proteins like in meat age you, actually make you older faster. I don't know how true that is. Apparently his son is doing the same type of protocol he's doing, except he's using meat. Like he's eating meat and he's not a vegan. And he's trying to see if, like, he has ways to measure the cellular health or cellular age of the body. So according to his diagnostic tools that he has, which he pays millions of dollars for, he is able to determine that he aged backwards 20 years, something like that, because he's in his, I believe he's just in his 50s. He kind of looks, I hate to say it, but he does. You'll see him in a second. It's not this guy. He kind of looks like a vampire, but he also looks like he's in shape. I think he just needs some color. He just needs to get a tan. But he looks good. I mean, but here he is talking about the veganism thing real quick.
You're vegan. Is it anti-meat or just pro-vegan?
I'm vegan by choice, and Blueprint says nothing about me.
See how he looks? He kind of, you remember that? You remember that movie Interview with a Vampire? He looks like a one of the guys who could have been like in the background, one of the vampires during that movie. Because of his, I'm just making fun of him right now. I shouldn't make fun of him like that, but he should probably get a tan. Let's get a spray tan or something.
So if people want to eat meat, great. It's just encouraging people to say, let's look at the evidence, look at measurement, look at how you're doing. So really, it's not an opinion on anything.
I understand that you're a vegan.
Okay, so Brian Johnson, check him out on YouTube. He actually is doing great things. His money that he spent on all these research studies, trying to figure out what actually makes the human body age backwards, he has made all of his results, his conclusions, all free. He made all of his stuff free for anybody who wants to look into it. His diet plan, what he eats and stuff, he made all that stuff available to the public, so anybody could try it. You could try out his breakfast. Like, there's one thing that he makes that looks good. It's that I might try. It's this like pudding he makes out of like vegetables and cacao powder, and it looks actually good. I would try that. And of course, broccoli is really good for you. I don't know if I would have broccoli for breakfast, and plus I'd never become a vegan because I like meat too much. But here's one more clip of Brian.
Aging protocol Blueprint has been able to slow my speed of aging by the equivalent of 31 years. One of the
31 years
into the diet, which accounts for almost 15% of my daily caloric intake, is extra virgin olive oil. We found in the
That's what I was gonna say.
that specific kinds of extra virgin olive oil matters a lot in terms of the health benefits you're going to get. We've sourced from both hemispheres on the planet. It's been such a challenging thing for us to solve ourselves that we've decided to source this and make a brand available for you. You can do one of two things. You can buy extra virgin olive oil, and you can see the criteria on the Blueprint website of what you.
Okay, so basically he sells his own extra virgin olive oil because he says that it's hard to get the real deal, like real extra virgin olive oil. I have, I'll give you guys a tip because I've looked into this a lot. Supposedly there's a lot of fake olive oil out there, believe it or not. Like, the way you can tell if it's mixed with other stuff and things like that is if you drink the olive oil, like a tablespoon of it, and it doesn't burn your throat as you go down. It should burn. Real olive oil, real extra virgin olive oil should burn your throat as it's going down. That's how you know it's the real thing. But the ones I get and the ones I recommend for you, look for the ones that in the glass bottle. Try not to go for the ones that are the cheapest one. Not all of them are the ones. Some of them in the glass bottle are not super expensive either. They're just kind of in the middle. But the ones that are super cheap in the plastic bottles, um, not all of them, but they tend to have that fake olive oil. They mix it with other stuff and to save money. You know how I'm saying? They're trying to save money by mixing the olive oil with other things that people can't tell the difference. So the real deal, try to get the glass bottle extra virgin olive oil. That's a better one. And and what he said is really important because what he said basically is that extra virgin olive oil is one of the best things you can have and to actually make you age backwards. So it's like it keeps you looking young, keeps you feeling young, feeling good, keeps your hormones the right way. So like if you cook your eggs in the morning like I do, I always use extra virgin olive oil. Plus I try to have like a big salad during the week, at least one, like with some I make my own dressing. Don't buy your dressing in the store, just make your own stuff. Try to make your own stuff as much as possible. I guarantee you'll be healthier for it rather than going out to eat or getting stuff outside all the time. So I recommend that as well. All right, shall we do another set? Shall we do another set? I'm done with the T-bar row, so that was back. I'm not going to go crazy today because I the good thing about this weekend warrior style workout, though, I'll tell you, is that I have the whole week to recover. Because during the week I don't lift, only on the weekends. So even if I go extra hard on the weekend, and maybe I go a little too hard and I feel overtrained and I can't sleep and I feel like crap, like I do right now, I know that during the week I have a bunch of days back to back where I can feel good and get back to normal and get some sleep. So that's the key. That's when you grow, during the rest times, right? During the times that you're recovering, you're recuperating. So I'm gonna during the week, I just focus on cardio. I try to go for long walks. I wanted to play a little soccer though too, like just kicking the ball around because I used to play soccer back in the day. I miss soccer. I used to love playing soccer, man. I wish there was some people my age, like in their 40s, who went out there and played soccer and we just pick up game of soccer. I end up, if I go out there with the basketball courts, I end up playing basketball with these kids who are like 20 years younger than me. I'll tell you one quick story. I remember I went out to the basketball courts. This is years ago, and I was even fatter than I am now. And went out there trying to play basketball with these kids that are like 19-year-old kids. And I was 37 at the time, I think, 36 or 7. And I embarrassed myself. I was keeping up kind of, but then I turned one way. I was trying to psych them out, and I felt my calf muscle like almost felt like a rubber band go like this, and then I couldn't walk on that. I messed up my calf. My calf is fine now, but I strained a muscle. I pulled a muscle because I was trying to keep up with these 19-year-old kids playing pickup basketball, and that was a bad idea. But like if I were to go out now, even now I wouldn't be in shape enough to play with these 19-year-old kids. If I were to try to do that, I would probably go out there by myself and just shoot the basketball by myself and do some drills and do some wind sprints and stuff like that in order to get into shape to be able to play these 19-year-old kids again. But I don't even know if that's a good idea. I'd rather go to the field and see big soccer net and kick the soccer ball like I used to. And then I got to find some people to play soccer with. So we're going to do another set. What should we do now? I want to do some traps, and then we'll do hamstrings at the end. So we're going to grab these 40-pound weights, and that's all I have right now. I only have 150, guys. So I would do 50 pounds, but I can't. I'm going to grab these 40-pound weights. We're just going to do shrugs. I'm going to pause at the top, slow negative, just like that. Maybe I'll be able to talk at the same time. We'll see. But let's hit some traps in the meantime. We'll play some Jim Yosef Link again. Here we go. Gotta get lots of oxygen. Get some extra oxygen. It's one of the biggest mistakes, holding your breath. Don't hold your breath, man. I like to wait for the hook. I'm waiting for the hook. Let's wait for the hook. If you got some dumbbells, grab dumbbells right now and do some shrugs. Let's do it. Take a quick break. Take a breather. We're getting the trapezius right here. Trapezius. I love that track. That track is awesome. Copyright free. I love it. That was Jim Yosef, Yosef. The track is called Link. Might play that again. Maybe a little later in the workout. This, honestly, let me tell you right now, this shrug right now that I'm doing is not the best because it's lighter than what I need really. The problem is of course, one of the limitations of having a home gym, it's not a commercial gym. I can't just go to the rack and get heavier weights. I would have to buy them, and right now I don't have them. So I don't have anything heavier than 40 pounds, except if I were to take this Olympic bar right here and I were to put some extra weight on it. But you know what? I'm just going to burn it out. I'm just going to do more shrugs. That's what I'm going to do. I don't feel like doing that right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to get another set of shrugs. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take another topic. The call lines are open, 313-591-0290, and share your thoughts. We got a couple other topics to do today. So let's do Disfigure again. I like that song. Blank. Shall we? Let me do a stretch. Oh. Okay, here we go. Just like slow motion walking. I'm gonna take a dance break. Kind of a weird song to dance to, though. Gotta go double time. Let's do another set. Oh man, we're gonna take a topic. We're gonna do a topic in a second. It's kind of a weird song to dance to, though. I like it though. It's a cool song. This is Disfigure. The title is Blank. Okay. So, have you heard about this topic here? Let me see here. Oh yeah, this was a news story I saw. Check this out. This is from CBS News. Many fast foods contain tiny plastics, according to Consumer Reports study. This is published in February 2024. Christina Rex is her name, but she talks about how phthalates, which is a plastic byproduct of, it's in so many things and consumer goods these days. But think about like even Chipotle. If you go to Chipotle, order the burrito. Number one, the wrapping that they put the burrito in has different types of plasticizers on it. That's already known. Like back in 2021 and even 2017, I remember hearing about that. And now a lot of these fast food chains have phased that out. So they no longer use this. Almost, it looks like it has a wax coating on it, if you know what I mean. The wrapping that they wrap the burritos in, they wrap, French fries in and all these different things. That stuff has a coating on it, which is a chemical coating, which is harmful. I don't know if it is considered a phthalate, but it's definitely not good for you. But just imagine you go to Chipotle, you walk in, you stand in line, you see these employees, cooking and preparing sandwiches and stuff and burritos, they have plastic gloves on, right? The plastic gloves, you don't think that the little microplastics and stuff they're handling your food, you don't think that gets into the food? That's basically what it is. So any fast food joint that you go to, I used to think that me going to Chipotle was me choosing the better place and like a healthier choice and stuff like that. Not really. If you consider this study here, let me read a little bit about what it says here. 85 food products tested for plastics. Nonprofit consumer organization tested 85 different food products for phthalates, and results were very concerning. Of the 85 different products that were tested, only one had 0 phthalates in them. Even Cheerios, bro. I mean, they talk about, what's crazy? All this stuff, even the t-shirts that we wear are made of polyester blends with cotton. And guess what? Polyester, you know what polyester is? It's plastic. It's plastic. So they have cut corners in every conceivable way. Right now, I go out of my way to wear cotton, 100% cotton for that reason. But they make t-shirts out of a blend of cotton polyester. Why? In order to save money, of course, to maximize profits. Of course, the profits always come before the consumer with these people, which I hate. But what I'm trying to say is when you wash a shirt that is made with polyester, guess what happens? The little microplastics end up in the water, and they are discharged through your pipes, and they go out to the city water treatment plant, and these little particles eventually make their way into the ocean. And that's why they're talking about plastics in the ocean. It's not just like Poland Spring bottles that you see littered on the beach. It's not that. It's partly that. Like, there are people who do that, and that stuff ends up in the ocean too. But what I'm trying to say is that's not the real source of a lot of these plastics. It's little things like that. It's like the t-shirts that we wear that are polyester, stuff like that. This is what's making people sick. And it's what's making people kind of like it's making the plastics get everywhere. So that's just one example. But these fast food places and even our cereals and things, Burger King, check this out. Plastics in fast food. Many fast food foods came in even higher. Burger King's Whopper with cheese had more than 20,000 nanograms. Wendy's crispy chicken nuggets had nearly 34,000 nanograms per serving. We also say reduce or totally avoid fast food because in our article, it shows that the fast food was particularly high in plasticizers, Rogers said. Now, it's not just the gloves that the food workers wear. It's that wrapper that I told you about, but it's also the food itself. This is what they don't want to tell you. Like the food itself, in order for those guys to make a profit, do you think that they're giving you the highest quality meat? Think about that. Do you really think that they're paying top dollar for like grass-fed, grass-finished beef, and that they're serving that to you in the fast food joint, like in Burger King and McDonald's? Do you really think that? No. Obviously, what they're trying to do is they're trying to use the lowest quality meat possible in order to maximize their profits. So they'll use like grade C or D meat. I don't even know how they categorize this meat, but it's probably one step above like cat food meat, literally. And that's what they're serving you at McDonald's. That's what they're serving you at. Why do you think it costs $1? Remember, you used to order off the dollar menu. Like, how are they making a profit? They're selling these sandwiches to you for $1. Well, the way they're making a profit is because they're buying bulk quantities of the cheapest, most unhealthy meat that you could ever find. And that's how they're making a profit. And that's why I'm trying to tell you, do not patronize these fast food joints. Do not do it. They don't care about your health. And these studies are very alarming. talking about plastics in the fast food. If they're even reporting on it, let me tell you one thing: they have to cover their butt. If they're reporting on it, that means it's way worse, because they really don't want to report on it. But you know why? Because they are the ones who are advertising in CBS News and these newspapers and these TV shows. What do you think? You see fast food, you see like McDonald's and stuff like that advertising. So they're going out of their way trying not to report on this stuff. They're just reporting on this now because they're trying to save face. And so someone doesn't come back to them and say, hey, how come you didn't talk about this? So they're like, oh, here, at least we talked about it here. So they're trying to cover their you know what. And that's why I'm saying, don't. It's way better. Number one, it tastes better. But number one, it's cheap. To number two, it's cheaper. And number three, it's healthier for you to make your own food. Get good at cooking stuff. Get good at just, you know what you do? Just get one of those air fryer, not air fryer machines, but like in the oven. You could even use your oven as an air fryer. They have like air fryer ovens now. That's what we have. Just like learn how to make quick stuff and healthy stuff. They're good ingredients. Like you control the ingredients. It's way better. And in that same line of thinking, I'll tell you a quick story. My dad, he was a baby boomer. He grew up in the 60s and 70s. He was a young man, right? He was born in the 50s. So he saw America a way different time. And he used to tell me that back when he was a kid, like all the young kids his age would be in shape. There would be no fat kids. There were no fat kids at that time. Very few. There's like one out of like 100 would be fat kids. And I was like, so I was like, Dad, why do you think that was? And why is it that nowadays there's so many fat kids and so many people out of shape? And he said, well, back then there were a lot of the moms would be at home cooking meals for their kids. They wouldn't be out of the house. They'd be homemakers and stuff, taking care of the house, taking care of the kids and cooking and stuff. And he says back then they would just be home cooking and they would be making much better food, way better food than what they can get out. So that's one reason. And he said the other reason is, if you remember, McDonald's was not a fast food chain until 1950 something. I think it was late 1950s or early 1960s with the first McDonald's. And the first McDonald's was out in California. But the first McDonald's, it was actually selling good food. It was actually selling decent food. So it started to become popular to get fast food. And they tried to Americanize it. And they used to have like all those fast food places where they would come out to you on roller skates and stuff and give you cheeseburgers and French fries and stuff on roller skates, if you remember. And they still have it around, Sonic and stuff like that down in the South. Here where I am, they don't have stuff like that. But down in the South, I know they have Sonic and stuff like that with roller skates. But I don't think they do the roller skates anymore. But that was popularized during that time period. And what I'm saying is, when people started changing their eating habits and eating fast food all the time, that's when people started getting fat. Because not only was it marketed to people as the cheaper option, the easier option, so you don't have to cook, I'm just going to sell it to you for a cheap amount of money, and you can buy it. The convenience of that made it way too easy for families to just say, hey, we're just going to get some fast food tonight. We're just going to get some fast food. We're not going to have to. We don't need to cook right now. We don't need to cook. And that's the start of it. I believe that's what that was the first nail in the coffin of America's obesity epidemic, where nowadays it's like the military even has trouble recruiting young people because so many of them are fat. They can't pass the physical fitness exam. That's bullshit. They should be way fitter at that age. It's like, if you're not fit when you're young, like, when are you going to be fit? Like, when you're young, you should be fit. I'm sorry. Like, that's why I say a lot of these fitness influencers who are in shape and they're in their 20s, I respect them on one hand, but on the other hand, I'm like, you're 20. Of course you're going to be in shape. Come to me when you're 40 and show me that you're in shape when you're 40, and then I'll give you some more respect. Because then after marriage, after kids, after mortgage and bills and taxes and all this stuff, and then show me you're in shape, then I'll give you more respect. Let's do another set, guys. We're going to do, instead of shrugs, like I said, I'm kind of going a little bit easy today because I'm tired, man. I'm tired. But let's do, let me see here. Let's do, you know what we're going to do? Some forearms. We'll do some forearms, and then we'll do hamstrings. That's what we're going to do next after that. All right, here we go. Let's do it. No, too heavy. I'll show you what I'm doing in a minute. I'm going to have it behind my back like this. I'm curling it up with my forearms, just like that. There we go. Some forearms. Ooh, right here, right here. Okay. We're going to do some more sets of that. That was actually good. So what I'm doing, I don't know if you can see, I'm holding the bar behind my back like this. And then with my hands, I'm curling it. If you can see what I'm doing, I'm curling it like this. And that's getting your forearms here. Because, you know, it's important to train the forearms, guys, because the forearms are what allow you to grip the weight. And if you have weak forearms, it's going to be harder for you to do a lot of these lifts, different lifts. So specifically training the forearms is probably a good idea. And especially a day like today when I'm trying to go a little bit more low impact because I'm tired. I'm 3 hours of sleep. But I want to make sure I get my weekend warrior workout in. So we're going to do some more of that. Let's see. Should we do another topic? Let me see. What's next? Oh, yeah. I want to talk about that. We'll do that next. We got a weird news story next. I saw in the news. I was like, what? Okay. Here we go. Let's do it. Oh man, it burns so bad. Oh, it burns like crazy. Little breather, little breather. Okay, here we go. burns like crazy. All right. Let's do the news story, and then we'll do a little more of those wrist curls. Those are called wrist curls. Let's do another news story. Here we go. I saw this one on Gateway Pundit. Did you hear about this one? Listen, look at this headline. It made me chuckle. Threat from beyond? Question mark. Controversial study suggests intergalactic object nearing planet Earth could be a hostile alien ship. You're telling me there's a study that shows that something in the atmosphere could be an alien ship? And I said, let me look at this. What is this picture even? They didn't even know what they're taking a picture. They wanted to see some type of picture, but this is not a picture of anything. It just says AI generated image by Grok. 3-1 Atlas cruising past the solar system. Another week, another UFO related story for us to laugh or worry about, and this is a big one. Back in October 2017, the first object from outside the solar system was discovered. The Oumuamua, the Oumuamua. The unusual shape, the lack of a comet trail, and the fact that it sped up as he left the galaxy left scientists puzzled and was fertile ground for all the kind of speculative theories, with Harvard's Avi Loeb suggesting that Oumuamua, who came up with that name, Oumuamua, might be an alien spacecraft. Let me tell you a story here. Let me tell you a story. First of all, if you're a Christian out there, the Bible does say that there will be a deception in the last days in the book of Revelation. It says that there will be it describes it as frogs, like John the Revelator had this vision, an open vision of the end times. He describes perfectly the Statue of Liberty. It's crazy. He talks about this woman with a cup in her hand, and she's drinking the blood of the saints and stuff. That, I believe, is John the Revelator is actually having a future vision of New York City and the Statue of Liberty. That is very eerie similarities to that. But also in that book of Revelation, it talks about these entities that look like frogs, and also these entities that have like these tails that whip people. And I think that the government, because I don't trust the government, if in case you didn't know that, I just don't trust the government. But the government is trying to lie to the people as usual, but they're going to try to lie to the people and say that, there's aliens and stuff like that. Why? Because it's part of the Great Deception. They're just trying to say that there is no Jesus. They're trying to say that there is no God. They're trying to say that all that stuff is fake and made up because, look, now there's aliens out here and stuff. So all these news stories that you're seeing out here is a way to pre-program your mind to accept that there is such a thing as aliens. That's my deeply held belief, not just from reading the Bible, but I feel it in my spirit that that's the case, what's going on. And I'll tell you even another story. I'll tell you actually two stories. There's if you remember back in the days, I don't know, like those of you who are listening, I'm not sure what generation you're from, but I'm a millennial. I'm one of the first millennials. So I'm a little older up there, but I'm not that old. But what I'm trying to say is I grew up in the 90s, and in the 90s, there'd be all these stories about abductions, alien abductions. And there'd be these guys talking about how they were in bed sleeping at night, and all of a sudden this alien spacecraft came and abducted them. And now they have this weird like cut on their arm that wasn't there before, and they couldn't explain it. And they had this vision of like these green men with these big heads and stuff like that. So this stuff has been going on like in the news. Like, I don't know what it is. It's like the movie E.T., all this stuff pre-programming the Americans and the world to accept aliens is like a government a psyop. I think that's what it is. Because honestly, there's no chance anything could be living out in the space, contrary to what Elon Musk thinks. I don't get why he wastes so much money to go out into space. There's nothing out there. We're not meant to be out in space. But space is uninhabitable to living things. That's why you don't see plants in space, or you don't see water in space. You don't see anything living that's in space. Even bacteria, I don't think lives in space. So the idea that there's aliens out there from other planets that are trying to come to this planet and attack us and stuff, it's just a lie, guys. It's just stupid, if you believe that. So I just think that this talk about aliens is all like a psyop to try to distract people from Jesus Christ. It's trying to distract people from God and the idea that there is a judgment when you die and you have to answer for your sins. And God, if you accept Jesus Christ as your surrender to Him, ask Him for forgiveness of sins, of course. Surrender to Jesus Christ, and He then becomes your kind of like lawyer in the court of heaven. And he knows you, and he's like, well, that's what the Bible says in so many words. It's like, it's not so weird, but he kind of like stands in for you and says, he accepted me and my sacrifice on the cross and propitiation for sins and stuff, so he doesn't need to go to hell, type of thing. That's what I think. What do you guys think? Call in the show 313-591-0290. I'll tell you one more story though. I didn't finish the first story I was trying to tell. So anyway, these guys who they claim that there was aliens abducting them. I think the explanation for that is sleep paralysis. If you ever heard of it, sleep paralysis, it's called sleep paralysis. And what that is you're in bed at night, all of a sudden you can't move, you're almost like paralyzed. And science tries to explain that it's totally normal, it's natural, and happens to people and stuff like that. But I've had it, I actually experienced that myself. I have the alien abduction thing, but I did have the sleep paralysis. And a lot of people say that it felt like there was an evil presence in the room and stuff like that. But I'll tell you one thing, if it ever happened to you, I said, in the name of Jesus, leave. And I'll tell you right now, that strengthened my faith a lot, because as soon as I said that, it left. It was gone. And then I no longer felt this evil presence thing in the room anymore after that. So that's why I say to you, like the people they kind of gloss over the parts of the Bible that talks about how Jesus cast out demons and stuff. But all that stuff is actually real. It's just people call it different things. Just to make themselves more comfortable. They don't feel comfortable talking about it. It makes them scared. There really is no need to be scared of it, though, because, like I said, it's subject to the name of Jesus. If you just use the name of Jesus against it, it will leave. And I've experienced that numerous times. I haven't even had it happen a long years already, because they just know not to mess with me, and it just doesn't happen anymore. I used to get sleep paralysis. I used to wake up in the middle of the night, and I would feel even like something, I don't know if I should say this, but something like having sex with me. And if you go on, I swear to you, if you go on Google and you search something's having sex with me in the middle of the night, and I felt paralyzed and I couldn't move, I swear to you that you will find people saying that happened to them. And it happened to me, actually. So what I'm trying to say to you is that stuff is all demonic stuff, spiritual in nature. What it means is you probably opened a door somewhere, or like you did something that allowed them to have, like, to come in a way. But there's nothing to panic about. Like I said, if you subject and surrender yourself and ask for forgiveness of sins for Jesus Christ, ask Him into your life, surrender to Him, allow Him to lead, guide, and direct you, lead your life. You will be fine. You will be totally fine. He will take care of you. And of course, I want to use that as a segue to talk about Jesus Lifts, the testimony book that I have on my website, fezgarcia.com. If you go to fezgarcia.com/free book, free-book, and it's also on the top toolbar to the right, on the top right, you'll see Jesus Lifts, and you can click on that, download the free book, download it to your iPad, download it to your iPhone. You can read it right there. It's only available in digital format. It's not a physical book like with pages and stuff. It doesn't have pages. Like I said, that costs money. Then I have to charge money if I did that. So if I do it as an ebook, it's free. So it's much easier that way. So anyway, that's this story. To me, this is just stupid. So it's not even worth reading because it's just nonsense. Okay. We're gonna get to this one next, guys. But in the meantime, let's just hit another set first, and we'll do another story after that. Here we go. Let's do Jim Yosef again. I like this song. We're gonna hit another set. Don't worry. Don't you worry. Here we go. Man, I'm This is part of the workout, guys. You have to dance too. Okay. I wanted to hit that news story real quick and we'll do another set. So, this is something I saw on, where is it? Hold on. I saw this on X, actually. It says, you've been lied to. I love how they write a line that will hook the reader. You've been lied to. That's what I'm going to start saying from now on. Hey, you've been lied to. You've been lied to. The foods they are saying are making you fat actually helps you lose weight. Eat these 7 foods every day. White rice. And then it goes through the list. It goes through the potatoes. It goes through, here's white rice. Did you know that white rice has 53.2 grams of carbs, 4.4 grams of protein, 242 calories? It says eggs. I don't know how eggs made it. That's not a carb. Greek yogurt, low in sugar, high in protein. I eat tons of Greek yogurt, by the way. I love Greek yogurt. This is from Peak Labs. Check out Peak Labs on X. I actually kind of like their posts. They've been posting some cool stuff lately. Follow them on X, Peak Labs. Boost fullness hormones, lowers hunger hormones. I actually say I eat lots of Greek yogurt, but it actually says Skyr yogurt, Icelandic yogurts, twice the protein of Greek yogurt. Is that true? I did not know that. Boiled potatoes. What did I tell you? What did I tell you? Ginger, avocados, chia seeds. Chia seeds are one of those foods, man. I really always forget. I have a whole big bottle of chia seeds. I never use them though, because I feel like they don't taste good unless you soak them in water for like a couple hours. Because they don't taste good unless they have that little slimy coat on it. The only way you get that is if you put them in, dunk them in water for like 2 to 3 hours, and then it'll have that. But then you got to stir it every so often. Otherwise, it's clumpy. I don't know how people put it in their smoothies, because what I would do is I would put it in my smoothie after it collected enough water and got slimy first, because that's the only way it tastes good to me. Other than that, the chia seeds are hard for me to get in the diet. Plus, I count everything I eat, and it's hard to count the calories in the chia seeds. But maybe I don't need to. I don't know. Then it says, no, that was the end of it. But basically, what I want to talk about briefly is carbs. Because this is what really caught my eyes. They're talking about white rice, saying white rice actually helps you lose weight. That's actually true, believe it or not. It sounds not like it's not true, because there's so many fitness influencers, people talking about how carbs are bad or carbs are evil. But that's not true. That's not true. I actually just ate a bunch of carbs myself. Before this workout, guess what I did? I boiled some pasta, I counted it though. The thing is, you got to count the calories. I boiled a bunch of pasta, but I only eat Italian pasta though, because Italian pasta does not have glyphosate, the weed killer that they spray, the Roundup that they spray in all our crops in this country. The ones from Italy, they don't have that. So I would get the Italian pasta. And what I do is I measure it with my food scale. I have a food scale, and I put in a bowl and I measure out 3 servings. 3 servings is 600 calories. It's 200 calories per serving, which sounds like a lot. And you're like, oh my God, I'm going to ruin my diet. No, you know why? Because what happens is you end up eating the carbs, and then they give you a boost of energy. At least it does with me. So you have to have the type of body type, or the type of genetics, I guess. Like me, I have Latin genetics, so I can deal with carbs. I can eat a lot of carbs and it doesn't bother me. Some people, they eat carbs and then they feel like crap, or they eat a bunch of carbs and it makes them feel like bloated. That never happens to me. Like I can eat a ton of pasta or a ton of rice or a ton of carbs and I feel fine. And actually gives me energy. It actually boosts my energy. So in my case, I'm not saying for you or for everybody, not like those people, those keto people who say like everybody, if you're eating carbs, you're gonna get fat, or like they say that everybody has to be on this keto diet, and they claim it's like a one size fits all. I'm not saying that. I'm saying it has to jive with your body and your genetics. If you are the type of person who thrives, and the way you can know is if you eat a bunch of carbs and you feel energized and you feel good and you feel not weighted down, and you just feels like you just feel like someone turned a light bulb on, then you could probably get away with some carbs. Okay. But if you're the type of person who eats a bunch of carbs and then you feel like crap and you don't want to move and you feel sluggish and you feel bloated and you feel like you just feel ill, then I'm guaranteeing you probably the type of person who does better on the keto diet. You're the type of person who does better on a higher fat diet. And then you have to kind of experiment a little bit and say, am I going to do better on like the dark meats that have saturated fat in, like dark meat chicken or dark meats and things like that, that have more saturated fat? Or am I going to do better on like more avocados, olive oil, omega-3 fats, fatty acids? Those are the different type of fats. So you have to experiment to see what types of fats your body likes the best, and try to give yourself more of that. And it's a balancing act, but it's a balancing act and stuff like that. But what I'm saying is, for me, I actually do way better eating rice, and it kind of makes sense because, like, think of like a Mexican person, you think of like a Central American person, which is what I am. They do better. What do they eat? They eat a bunch of rice and beans. You know, it sounds crazy. They eat rice and beans. When I eat rice and beans, it's like when Popeye eats spinach. I feel great. I can go out and conquer the world just by eating some rice and beans. So I do eat rice and beans, but I also like pasta. But what I'm trying to say is that the carbs for me, like maybe for you it's different, but for me, the carbs are fantastic. They give me a bunch of energy and make me feel good. It gives me energy that I can then use and transfer to a workout like this. Get what I'm saying? If I hadn't done that, I would not be able to get as many reps. I wouldn't have as much energy to work out. I wouldn't have as much energy to do this show right now. So for me, in my case, eating the carbs has been fantastic. It's been a godsend. So I want you to think about what you're being told about carbs and how carbs are bad or carbs are the devil and carbs are this and this and that. Try to think about what jives with your body the best. It makes me think of that girl, the banana girl. You remember her? The banana girl? All she's eating a bunch of bananas and stuff, and she lost a bunch of weight. She looks good. She's slender and stuff. I'm not telling you to go eat a bunch of bananas, but what I'm trying to say is, in her case, what she did was she experimented with foods that kind of sat well with her and her digestion and stuff. And she went and tried to eat more of that. I don't know exactly what her diet is. I don't know if she just eats only bananas, but she is called Freely the Banana Girl. So I'm sure she eats a lot of bananas. But the point I'm trying to make is she went out and she stopped listening to this person and that person, and she experimented herself and tried to see, okay, what foods do my body process the best, processed easier? Because it's apparently a genetic thing too. Like, there's a thing called amylase. Amylase is an enzyme that processes sugars, and people have varying amounts of this amylase genetically. Like in my genetic code, like certain ethnicities, like Latinos, like me, we have more amylase, generally speaking. So we process carbs easier than compared to someone from like Iceland, or someone who maybe they're in their cultural heritage, they don't eat that many rice and beans, or they don't eat as much carbs in those countries. Get what I'm saying? So in those countries, they probably eat just a lot of meat and cheese and things like that. And maybe that's the reason why those people do better on eating lots of meat and cheese. So I'm just saying it could be a possibility. So go out there and experiment with your body to try to figure out what your body likes the best. Does it like more carbs? Does it like more good fats or saturated fats or different types of fats, or more protein heavy? Like me, if I experimented with me, I eat too much protein, I feel like crap. If I eat too much protein, there's a certain amount of protein, and that's enough for me after that. When I'm lifting, though, I do need more protein, and my body asks for more protein. But like just when I'm not working out and I'm just doing nothing, my body doesn't ask for much protein. It asks for protein, but not that much. And my body's asking for more carbs, believe it or not. So that's what I'm trying to say. So here's what we're gonna do, guys. Let's hit another set, and we are going to finish the forearms just like this, and then we're gonna do some hamstring curls. Yeah, hamstring curls right here on the universal machine. That'll be it, and then we're done because we only have about 15 minutes left. I am taking calls. Try to call in between sets, and that's when I'll probably answer it. 313-591-0290. Here we go. Let's do it. My forearms are done. My forearms are done, guys. They're toast. Right here. Now I could get the front part of the forearms. I usually would do like this, like real close to the shoulder, like close to the body, and then do like a reverse curl, they call it. And that would get the top part of your forearms. Right now I just got this part, the underside of it. But they're feeling really fatigued right now. If I wanted to, I could go on the preacher bench and kind of go like let my arms hang off and then just go like this with some dumbbells, but I don't feel like doing that right now. Plus I don't want to, sometimes you can hurt your wrist doing that. You have to be careful. We're going to do some wrist curls. I'm sorry, we're not going to do wrist curls. We're going to do some hamstring curls. And let me bring the camera over and let's hit it, okay? Ash O'Connor and Kirby, here we go. Okay, so I did just 2 sets of hammer curls on each side, so I'm gonna do a little bit more, but the first set was kind of light. It was kind of like a warm up because, believe it or not, one of those things with the hammer curls is you'll do a set and then you'll think it's nothing, and then the next day you'll be like, my hamstrings. So it's one of those muscles that if you don't, especially because people don't train it that much, even when you do deadlifts, I mean, you'll get hamstrings, but you won't get it like this. This is more isolated. Plus, like I said, I'm doing low impact stuff. I feel like shit. Excuse my language. I don't feel well. I feel kind of like I'm trying to drag myself through this workout. So I'm trying to do exercises that are keeping me in the game, keeping me active, keeping me dedicated, keeping me consistent. But at the same time, I got to go a little lighter, like, and pace myself. You know, this is my 3rd weekend of working out on the road to Yokedom. It's going to take some time. It's not going to be 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, not even a month or 2 months. It's going to be a series of months, close to a year, I would imagine. I think if you tune in a year from now, you'll probably see a big difference in the physique as long as I stay consistent. And this is how I do that, by turning down the intensity when you need to, you know, because you're in it for the long term. You're in it for the long term vision. That's the mistake a lot of people make. They go too hard too fast, and then they just fall off because it's too much too soon. They can't do it. Their body, it's like shock to the body, and it's too much shock to the body. You have to work with the body, not against the body, right? With the body, not against the body. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do another set, and that'll be it for the hamstrings. And then we'll do something super low impact, just to show you how low impact you can go. We'll do some of this. Look, vacuums, where you hold in your stomach and then you vacuum. It's a vacuum key, and it actually works your transverse abdominis, and it helps tighten your stomach, and to make it so that your stomach is more tight. It's an old school bodybuilding move called a vacuum. We're going to do some vacuums after this. We also do have to do one more topic. So in between, we'll do one last topic. And if you want to call in real quick, 313-591-0290, you can call in when I'm over here by the desk here, so I can answer the phone call. Here we go. Let's do some chill music. Here we go. That's it. 15 and 15. We did it. We made it. We definitely made it. Okay. Vacuums are next. Final exercise. Is that your final answer? Is that your final exercise? We're going to do some vacuums. So how do you do a vacuum? It's very simple. You can do a vacuum with me if you're watching. It's a great exercise. Your transverse abdominis is like the corset of the body. It's what holds your waist in tight as if you're wearing a corset. And if you strengthen that muscle, you could actually make it so that your waist is cinched in a little bit more, cinched in tighter. And it actually does work if you're consistent with it. So it's a low impact exercise. It's not like, something that you're going to impress anybody doing. Like, we're not here to impress anybody. So just throw that out the window. We are going to do some vacuums. So what I like to do is I like to breathe out. First, I breathe in big, right? Breathe out and then suck in. Just like that. You suck in and try to breathe in through your nose. While sucking in at the same time. From the side, it should look like that. It should look sucked in. And you have to let it out. So if you did it correctly, it was actually hard to hold it in. If you notice, it was hard to hold it in. So that's how you know you did it correctly. And you feel that there's a musculature there that you're working out. And it gets fatigued. It does get fatigued. So like, you can't just hold it indefinitely. Even though I'm breathing in through my mouth, it's hard to actually hold that muscle tight all the time. So we're going to just do a bunch of sets because why not? Okay. So as I'm doing this, I expect you to do it as well. And we're going to hit it. So I'm going to kind of go one into the next. So I usually shoot for like 30 seconds. If you've never done it before, maybe try 15 seconds. 20 seconds, something like that. Take a break, breathe out, a couple of breaths, and then do it again. Breathe out, then breathe in, and then suck in your stomach, and then hold it while breathing in through your nose. All right, here we go. Let's try it. We're going to play some Jim Yosef again. Had to let it out. Breathe in. Yeah. Had to let it go again. Flat, nice and flat. Holding it, holding it. Still flat. Man, that was a hard one. Flat. Nice and tight. Nice beat taper. One more. Suck it in. Actually hurt. Actually was giving me some burns doing that. If you hold it long enough, man, you actually get some good burns. Guys, you did awesome. If you were working out with me, if you were following everything, we didn't get to the last news story, but that's okay. We'll get to it next time. Check out once again Jesus Lifts on my website, fezgarcia.com. It's at fezgarcia.com/free-book. And you can download it to your iPad, download it to your iPhone. It's completely digital. It's not paper. It's just digital. You can actually, I have the chapters where you can jump to the chapters. So like If you see a testimony that catches your eye, you click on the link, you jump to that chapter because it's over 400 pages long. So it's hard to navigate through unless you use those chapter headings. Definitely check it out. I want to hear feedback. If you've been sticking with me here, very curious as to whether you think what you think of the testimonies. Was it a cool testimony? What's your reaction to it? What did you make of it? What did you think of it? These are testimonies of Jesus Christ. There's lives changed as a result of Jesus. So definitely check it out. Check it out. Okay. Till next week, guys. During the week, I'm going to hit some cardio. I'm going to try to play some soccer. I'm going to kick the ball around by myself. Try to shoot some hoops by myself too, to get some cardio in. Maybe some wind sprints in the meantime. Also, tracking my calories. I weigh everything I eat. I encourage you to do the same. There's people out there saying, "Oh, you don't need to count your calories," but trust me, count your calories. That's the only way you know how much you're eating. And at that point, then you could say, "All right, I don't need to track it that close because I kind of know how much I'm eating." So